Hello student, today we will study the recent development in Indian politics. So in this unit we will study about the development and the incident that happened in 1990s like the loss of Congress in 1989 and what is the Mandal Commission and how the Ayodhya case was happened and later of a lot of riots like Gujarat riot and a communal issue was started and how election process was done during that time period. So this is all issue we are going to discuss in this slide. So let's start with the topic. The first issue is Mandal Commission. What is Mandal Commission? I hope you heard before. The Mandal Commission was declared by the National Front government in 1990. National Front government wanted to implement reservation for the other backward classes in the government jobs. So this Mandal Commission movement led to the lot of protest against the reservation. So there's a lot of protest was started against the reservation of these other backward classes, and this Mandal Commission issue also shaped the politics of that time period because a lot of new regional party and a lot of parties based on the other backward classes ideology was rising at that time period. So later on, with the implementation and other issues, a lot of political change also happened with the Mandal Commission and how it's led to the popularity of the national front government also. So these are all the things that was started after the Mandal Commission. In further classes and further slide we will understand these things. Now let's come to the next thing, the economic policy of Rajiv Gandhi. So this thing also happened in 1990s. A lot of change was started after that because Rajiv Gandhi started a liberalized and globalized economic reform, because after 19 India went toward the globalization. Indian economy were open to the old world and a lot of new innovation and changes in economic structure was started. It's also impacted the society of that period also, a lot of new growth, and it's also led to some of the concern over the traditional method also. Okay, how traditional industry will sustain in front of that globalized or large industries. So a lot of tussle were also started. So what is the reform of Rajiv Gandhi? Rajiv Gandhi started, he was given credit for the computerization of the country because he was the first man who started the computer use in the country, and it's also emphasized on to use computer in public offices or in education sector. So computerization era, credit is given to the Rajiv Gandhi. So this led to a lot of change. You can understand how computer contributed to our lives, and now we are more evolved going towards the IoT or other thing, 4G 5G. So this start with this first reform of computerization of the country. So and other thing is the economic, we started open economy and liberalization of the economy. So a lot of new companies were started coming to the country, a lot of new nation growth was started with all these things. So this is all started by the Rajiv Gandhi 1990s reform. Now let's come to the next incident that happened was demolition of Babri Masjid. We all know how the Babri Masjid issue created impacts in society very large, how it's shaped the politics of BJP and Congress, and a lot of riots were also happened because of this demolition of Babri Masjid. So firstly we need to understand what is the Babri issue, and I'm going to give you a historical significance of this masjid. First, the Babri Masjid was not built by Babur; it was built by his general Mir Taqi. So later on, a lot of issue was started that this masjid was not a mosque; it's a temple. Earlier, that Babur destroyed and created a mosque on this place because a lot of material, Hindu temple material, was used in this. So a lot of archaeological survey under B. Bilal were started, and it's also somehow try to prove that earlier there was a temple. So this created an issue, and that issue went to the court. And when matter went to the court, so the door of the mosque was closed. But later, when it was opened, that so both the group, either Hindu or Muslim, they started mobilizing on their sides. So it's this mobilization leads to a triggered form of communalism. This led to a communism issue, and the communalism issue was started with the BJP government also, because BJP uh, trying to use this issue to be successful in election also. A Hindu Parishad, VHP, or Bharatiya Janata Party, Vishwa Hindu Parishad. So all these political parties or Hindus ideologies started a lot of new movements in that period. And one of that very famous movement that started was Rath Yatra from Somnath to Ayodhya. So very prominent leaders, BJP prominent leader like Advani, was very much contributed in this Rath Yatra. So this led to a lot of communalism issue in both the sides, and we can say a triggered form of communalism was witnessed during that period, and the politics of Hindutva was on its peak, and these led to the when the Kar Seva Sevak started for agitation of temple construction, and in 1992 this led to the demolition of the mosque by the Kar Sevak. So the demolition of Babri Masjid led to a lot of agitation, and led to the political instability in the state also. So the so for the consequences of it, president rule was imposed. Presidential rule was imposed in the state. So this is the issue, one issue that was started, and when the president issue was imposed, so all activity was went to the court, and after a lot of years, today we hear what are the verdict of Masjid came and Ram Mandir temple built today. So this is what the incident that happened in 1992, and after that popularity of BJP was risen a lot. Even in the we will study in further how this led to the a lot of uh, political gain in part of Bharatiya Janata Party also. So this one issue really helped BJP government to form center government. So this is all that happened at that time period. And this one poster of Hindustan Times I added here, that Babri Masjid diminished center 6 Kalyan government. Kalyan government means state government at that time. So this is how the Babri Masjid issue was started, and later on in further slide we will study how it's led to the riot, one of the famous Gujarat riot in happened in 2002. A lot of Bombay communal violence was also started because of it. So we will study these things in further slides. Now let's come to the next slide, the assassination of Rajiv Gandhi. This is also happened in 1990s, when Rajiv Gandhi went for election campaign in Tamil Nadu, because earlier during Sri Lanka civil war he went sent some of the Indian army, and this led agitation against the Litte group and the nation government. So a lot of Litte leaders were very against the Rajiv Gandhi. So these Litte group became a reason for the Rajiv Gandhi death in Tamil Nadu. So this also created sudden death of Rajiv Gandhi created some sort of a lot of instability in Congress. No one expecting that, and Rajiv Gandhi was one of the very youngest and one of the very emerging leader of Congress party. So it's some sort of shock for the Congress party and all its leader. So this is a shock, and when after that 1991 election happened, Congress became a largest party after that, and it was the became a single largest party, because sympathy of assassination was also with it. So later on, because now Rajiv Gandhi was dead, so Narasimha Rao became the prime minister after the assassination of Rajiv Gandhi. So this is a lot of change happened after that in Congress party politics also. So this is what the impacts of Rajiv Gandhi assassination and how it's led to the rise of Congress party in 1991 election that happened at that time. Now let's do the one important thing, the era of coalition government after 1989. So this era of coalition government after 1989 was of the one of the very important change that happened in the democracy of India. When I taught you that Congress dominance or era of one party politics, 1951 election, that period was there was no other opposition parties. But now in 1989, we see a lot of change, a lot of coalition government was formed after that. So what happened in this coalition government? Let's start with it. What happened in 1989 election? After the Congress defeated, no party got any majority. Even though Congress was the largest party in the Lok Sabha after the 1989 election, but it not had an enough majority or enough seats to form a government. So Congress decided to remain in opposition. And other side, National Front which was a coalition alliance of Janata Dal and other regional party, form a government with the BJP and the left support, because this front wanted to kept Congress out of the picture. So that's how National Front with the BJP and left support form a government that time period in 1989. So this is the one thing happened, but later on these things also changed when after this Babri issue, 1996 election was happened. So left support non-Congress government, and the Congress also supported it. So because now both of these party wanted to kept BJP out of the picture. BJP means Baujan. BJP means BJP government. They wanted to keep BJP out of the picture, but the BJP also trying to consolidate its position. Later on in 1991 and 1996 election, BJP tried to become a largest party. So this is how the political dynamics change. Later on in 1998 to 1999, they elected Atal Bihari Vajpayee as a prime minister, because he was a very famous and uh, very prominent face of BJP government, because Atal Bihari Vajpayee personality was very pragmatic. Even some of trying to say that he was a new Nehru of the BJP government. So he again became the prime minister. But this party, whatever the party was coming into power, so there was a lot of regional party support for the formation of the government. None of these party became a center party without the support of the regional party. So it's also led to the emergence of regional party also, because the National Front in 1989 and later on United Front in 1996 to 1997. So these all formed with the coalition. Even later on 1998, BJP led a coalition in NDA government in 1999, or even UP in 2004 to 2009. So all this is none of these center party, either of Congress or BJP, had a foolproof majority. They all came into the power with the coalition of other regional party. So this led to the emergence of regional parties, and that's why it's called the era of coalition government after 1989 election. And you can see in the poster also in 1971 when Indira Gandhi was a power, and here in cartoon Atal Bihari Vajpayee trying to chase her. And later on this picture totally changed in 1999 when Atal Bihari Vajpayee became a prime minister with the coalition government and Sonia Gandhi trying to chase her. So this is the change of the India's politics that happened in 1971 to 1999. You can understand. And here these are the pictures of the how central government was formed at the time, how different party with and how the coalition government formed, and how the new prime minister was came into power and replaced by another with the change in party coalition, like with VP Singh and later on Narsimha Rao, and then Atal Bihari Vajpayee, later on Devi, and again then all these IK Gujral, Vajpayee Saab, and later on Manmohan Singh became the prime minister. So all these are the central government that changed in 1989 to 2014. So this is the dynamics. You can, through this poster you can understand what are the change that happened and how this new party emerged into the power and replaced by another in 1990s election process. So this is the all the thing that happened in the coalition government of 1989. One of the beauty of these coalition government is that none of the parties had extreme majority. So there was also always try to kept a check balance between these parties. In earlier period there was one party dominance, like Congress was in dominance, so there was no much power in the hand of opposition party. But later when these coalition government was formed, so there was somehow a check and balance with the center party and the opposition party. But it was also some sort of loss in other front, because this coalition government rise and sudden fall of this government somehow also impacts the sustainability of the government, because there was no stable government, because all these government was formed with the coalition. So this was one of the issue of 1990s politics also, कि there was no stable government at that time. This is all the story of 1990s election. And now come to the political rise of other backward classes. In earlier slide, as I mentioned, the Mandal Commission. How this Mandal Commission led to the reservation of other backward classes. So these other backward classes representation was increased after that. A lot of new political leaders were came into the power with the advocating right for the backward classes or Dalit Samaj, you can say. So this is how the increase, it's also led to the increased representation of the backward classes. Earlier there was a dominance. Even Congress was criticized that Congress was a Brahman party. Why? Because Congress a lot of most of the leaders from the upper caste also. So with these other backward class reservation, a lot of new backward party leaders were emerged, and a lot of new party with these other backward classes rise and ideology was formed during that time period. And the next thing that happens is shift in economic dynamics also. So earlier we most are the other centric, but now the politics going to be the OBC or other backward class centric politics, where they try to chase the aspiration of other backward classes and taking care of the welfare of other backward classes. So this is also because now they had a voice in the Lok Sabha with the reservation. So a lot of new change and a lot of new dynamics in electoral process was changed after that. Even in further side, we will understand how these things came into the reality and what does it means. And it's led to the impacts on policy formation also, because now the OBC are in forefront, so they can advocate for their rights. They can put the demand in front of government for the welfare or for the social or economic justice. So these things led to the lot of new change in the politics of other backward classes after that. And this was one of the very prominent name, Kashi Ram, because he was very famous in the other backward classes. And a lot of Bam Saif, one of the movement, and another very famous party, Bahujan Samaj Party, was formed after that. And this is poster for the Mandal Commission, how Mandal Commission came, and what are the recommendation of Mandal Commission, and what are the changes happened after. These all thing about the Mandal Commission, you must read all these things. Maybe it can come in exam. The next thing is BAMSAFE and BSP. What is BAMSAFE? This is full form is Backward and Minority Community Employee Federation. So this was formed, but it was not an ordinary trade union. It started for a strong position in politics of minority. They started talking for the Dalits or marginalized community. And the second, from the BAMSEF, a lot of new party was emerged, and out of it, BSP, one of the very famous party, Bahujan Samaj Party, was emerged out of it. And another is Dalit Shoshit Samaj Sangathan Samiti. This was also come out of it. So BSP, you all know, very famous parties, played very important role in state politics. BSP government, Bahujan Samaj Party, was formed by the Kashiram, very prominent leader of Dalit Samaj, and later of one of the very famous lady that came in all our mind is Mayawati, that played a very important role in state politics. Even she was the first Dalit woman that became a chief minister in state like UP, Uttar Pradesh. So this is all the change that happened with this Mandal Commission change, and this party came into the power, and they really impacted the politics of not only state but on the nation level also. So this BAMS if and the BSP played a very significant role. It's also raised an awareness and the social justice cause, and a lot of political consciousness amongst the Dalit class or marginalized section was started after that. And even we can say the economic position of these backward classes was becoming better after this political participation of the marginalized section. So that's how this change was started after this reservation policy, and how it's led to the change in political dynamics of the country in 1990s, even 2000 also. After 2000, in the 2004-5 politics also, there's a lot of impacts in the state level, because Mayavati formed government very late after 2000. So this all the change that started with the Mandal Commission and led to the formation of BSP and BAM safe, and a lot of betterment and welfare work was happened for the other backward classes. These all things that happen in this. Now let's come to the next slide. Anti-Muslim riots in Gujarat. This is one of the very famous riots that happened in year 2002. So what is that matter? The anti-Muslim riot would happen with one incident that triggered the whole scenario in Gujarat. A train station in Godhra coming back from the Ayodhya. A lot of devotee was in the train, and one of the bogie of train that coming from the Ayodhya full of the car sevaks, and the bogie was set on the fire, and a lot of and approximately 45 to 50 people were died in this, and a lot of all these the student that have incidents that happened at that time, Muslim were blamed that people were saying that the Muslim community behind all these incidents, Muslim community behind the Godhra case. So this led to a lot of anti-Muslim agitation, and the next day a lot of anti-Muslim riot were started. Muslim were killed brutally, a lot of Muslim women were raped at the time, their houses was destroyed, and whatever the economic condition that Muslim population and Muslim merchants and trader had a very good economic condition. But after the Muslim riot in 2002, these people lost their employment, lost their employment or economic security were diminished after that. So this anti-Muslim riot that happened in 2002 led to the a lot of casualty in the life of Muslim of that people. Even National Human Rights Commission criticized this movement, and it's very cruel, because a lot of Muslim were died. Approximately in the government record, 1100 people were died, and this led to a lot of dynamical change in the politics also, and this led to again the communal cloud in the country politics started. A lot of communal violence, even in Bombay also communal impact was started. Even it's also one of the reason people say for the bomb blast that happened in Bombay. So these anti-Muslim riots triggered the politics of the country, and it's changed again into the communal colors. So even some of the because at that time Narendra Modi was the chief minister of Gujarat, so it's also created that it's happened because government had supported it. So a lot of allegation was also started against the state government, because it's because the state government not done anything for stopping for to stop this incident, and for safeguarding the rights of the Muslim. So it's created a national debate at that time. and led to the law enforcement order changes, and a lot of new debate was started. And that incidents of Gujarat was so brutal that the election commission of India had to postpone the election also in the state. So these all things that happened in Gujarat created a lot of change. Here some of the posters of Indian Express and the Gujarat, that an eye of and blind Gandhinagar, Gujarat incident abroad. PM said Gujarat is burning. So this from this newspaper cutting you can understand what was the thing that happened in Gujarat and how it's led a lot of losses of man and material in Muslim of Gujarat. And the next thing that happened after the 2002 election was the Lok Sabha election that happened in 2004. So the Lok Sabha election of 2004 also seen the impacts of Gujarat riots of 2002, because in 2004 election a lot of turning points in Indian politics we can say, because now the BJP lost the game and BJP lost the election and Congress became a dominant party. Even though Congress was not in a majority, Congress formed a coalition government with the UPA, United Progressive Alliance was created, and NDA was defeated. So it's led to the revival of Congress politics also. Although the difference of seat was not very much, you can see in the graph in 2004 election, difference of seats was 138 and 145. But this difference was came, we can say to some extent, was also Gujarat right was a reason for it. So this is how a Lok Sabha election of 2004 was happened, and its result came in the favor of Congress party. And this is the map of 2004 election result. You can see the representation of NDA, UPA government and the left and others. And here the graph of BJP and Congress election from 1984 to 2019. Here you can truly see the seats variation between the Congress government and the BJP government. Here you can see how the dynamics of party changed 1984 to 2019. Now let's come to the next thing. So all these thing whatever I taught you, these all things are important. You need to check on your from on your side. You can study what are the party and what are the incidents happen. Even maybe the question can frame like this: ki which incidents happen first and second. Try to frame in series. So that's how maybe question can be asked. And these are the MCQ question that I have framed. First is the what is this stand for, full form of this party, and Mandal Commission question I have framed on Bahujan Samaj Party. So these are the important MCQ. Even previous year also this question has been asked, and some of the new MCQ I also framed in that. So practice this question and try to create a mind map how first this party came into the power and replacement of this party with this coalition government. So you need to be ever clear on your mind that which party came earlier and later on which party replaced which party, and which incidents happened, like Rajiv Gandhi assassination which year happened. So you need to remember some of the facts, some important facts, and which party formed by which leader, like who's the credited for the formation of Bahujan Samaj Party, and what are the full form of BSP and BAMSAFE, BMSCF. So these things you need to remember. So this is all you need to check. I don't think there is anything left in this. And when this Gujarat riot war happened, so this is all thing you need to remember. Try to solve more and more MCQ. Mandal Commission was very important. In which year it came and implemented, for which community. So maybe question can be asked in this sense also. What is the coalition government? When it started? What is the era of coalition government? Maybe question they may be framed in form of 1960s, 1970s, 1980s. Correct the right option. Choose the right option. So maybe question can be asked in this sense also. So most I think most of the things I cover in this PPT, but you even apart from this you can go for your NCRT books as a reference book, because CUET exam mostly based on the NCRT. My reference is also NCRT. You can on your own side also go with your reference book for further understanding or further knowledge. But most of the thing, I don't think anything left that I have not mentioned in the PPT or these classes. So all these from my side.